All right, now we've made it to the part of Still of the Night where we have this octave riff. Now let me play this riff really cool. It's just a sweet little kind of like a grooving type of thing that they're usually not doing. They're just, the band's just kind of doing it. There's vocals kind of intermittently. So this is what it sounds like. All right, so we have basically that riff. To really get that down, says it starts on an upbeat. It'd be good to start it with an upstroke. So we're gonna have up, down, up. Then you're gonna hit this octave that starts at the 7th fret on the A string and the 9th fret on the G string, and you're gonna obviously mute that D string in between it with the bottom of your first finger. So you hit those two notes and it creates that octave. So we have the low E and then these two octave E's up top. So we have, then you hit that low E again with an upstroke. Okay, so after that, just does it basically twice in a row and pauses. Okay, so after you do that twice in a row, you pause, you do it one more time, and then you start doing it the 4th time, and you throw this in there. And that is going to be a slide from the 7s on the G and the D string up to the 9th fret and back down to the 7th. So just watch me play that so you see where to put that slide in there. All right, it's a cool little riff. You're going to play that a few times during the song. Then we get to this next section, which I kind of call a pre-chorus section. Really, there is no pre-chorus, but it sounds like something that could be a pre-chorus. And that sounds like this. All right, so we have the open A power chord, then you hit the A string open, then the E string open, then the 3rd fret on the E, and then back down to the open E string. So the opening chord is hit just kind of open, and then as you hit the A, and then the 0, 3, 0 on the low 6th string, you want to palm mute those to really make those stick out. Okay, so we did that 3 full times. Then you come back to that A chord on the 4th time here, and then you do this little figure. That is going to be pulling off from 5 to 2 to the open string on the A string. And then you're going to play 3, 0 on the low E. Now once again, palm mute and pick those so it sounds kind of, give it a little bit of definition. So we got this so far. Then you're going to come to the B power chord off the 2nd fret on the A string. Hit that twice, and then just come over and hit 2 to 0, palm muted and picked on the low E string. So we have this. When you come back and hit that 2nd power chord on the B, the 2nd fret on the A off the A string, do a slide down the 6th string, then hit the open A power chord again. Then we're going to play a G power chord. Now you're going to play this by just putting your 3rd finger at the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. The G string is going to be open. The D string is going to be open. And you're going to pick the low, you have your 2nd finger at the 3rd fret on the low E string. And you're going to use that first finger to mute the A string. You don't want that in there. So you just strum those 5 strings from the low E up to the B string. And then you play an F power chord off the first fret of the 6th string, or the low E string. So we have so that whole pre-chorus riff is okay, then we go back to the octave riff. All right, now we have this riff that it's this probably, if you could call it a chorus, it would be this would be the riff. This is what it's going to sound like, and it's going to take us right into the, they don't do it very long, they use it as kind of a transition into the interlude section. So this is what it sounds like. All right, so we come here, out of the octave riff, we come to the D power chord, which is at the 5th fret off the A string, standard power chord shape, then slide from 7 up to 9 on the A string, and then bar the 7th fret across the D and the G strings, and pick those 2 strings. So we got this. All right, now we come back 2 frets to the 3rd fret and do the exact same lick again. But instead of holding this, we're going to play the 2 5s off the G and the D string. Then you're going to play, still playing the G and the D strings, but you're going to move the 5 on the G back to the 4th. And then keep the G at the 5th fret on the D. Then we're going to have this little figure. That's an open A string palm muted twice. Then come over and grab the 2 5s of the G and the D. So we hit the A string palm muted twice. Then hit those 2, the dyad here, the 5th fret on the G and the D. Then do it again. So we get this. Now when you hit it the second time, slide up to the 7th fret and then come back down with those the little bar. So we have and then slide down the 6th string again to the F power chord at the 1st fret off the low E string. And then let that ring. And then just kind of pull your first finger off to hit the low, make it go to the low E string. And that takes us into the interlude section. While it's going into that and the keys swell in, you can depress the trim bar to lower that pitch a little bit like they do. They do a little bit of a bar dive. So okay, and just let it kind of fade out. All right, now we've made it to the interlude section, which includes a lot of clean guitar work. So we'll take a look at that one in the next lesson.